Shawnee Mission North District Stadium, TCI Sports presents the high school game of the week. Tonight, the Indians of Shawnee Mission North battle the Lancers of Shawnee Mission East. Tonight's game brought to you by Kronos. Let Kronos' time management program get your business on the road to productivity. Now let's head down to the field for the pregame. Your announcers, Lorrell LaBoube and Kevin Sanders.
It'll be a battle of the big men in the trenches at Shawnee Mission North tonight. Hello again, everybody. My name is Lorrell LaBoube, and along with Kevin Sanders, we're at Shawnee Mission North District Stadium for the game tonight between the Indians and the Lancers of Shawnee Mission East. The Indians of North have an offensive front that totals some 1,300 pounds. And Kevin, they know how to throw that weight around.
They sure do. And they're counting on those big men to open up holes for Joe Camp. Joe Camp looking to fill the shoes of a big back that left North last year, Brian Derlin. Derlin rushed for over 1,000 yards. Camp has put that down for one of his goals also before he graduates from Shawnee Mission North to get over that 1,000-yard mark, and he has the men up front to help him accomplish that goal. On the other side of the ball, we have the big men looking to protect John Pierce. Pierce had a season last year where he really didn't get a chance to run the offense very well because of the defensive pressure, and now he's counting on those big men up front to take some of that pressure off so he can run the passing game very effectively.
The Lancers are looking for their first win tonight. The Indians are looking to make it 2 in a row. We'll have the starting lineups in the play-by-play after this on TCI Sports. We are ready for the kickoff on a perfect night for football tonight. It's cloudy outside, but temperatures at about game time, I would say about 67, 68 degrees. When you, Kevin?
Somewhere around there.
Field conditions, terrific. And Shawnee Mission East will be kicking off to Shawnee Mission North. And deep is Joe Camp. And looking to see who the others are there. Matt Weiss and LaRon McInnes, and that's quite a trio back there for the Indians on the run back. And getting ready to kick off for Shawnee Mission East is Andy McClatchy, the all-league and all-metro kicker for the Lancers. Lancers 0-1, looking for their first victory for Glenn Percy. Bob Stauffer's Indians looking to make it 2 in a row in this 1995 season. And we're underway. A high kick, a little bit short, taken by the man in the middle at about the 2. Weiss is brought down at the 20. It'll be 1st and 10 for the Shawnee Mission North Indians, and you can expect them, Kevin, to run the ball.
Yes, indeed. That is their forte, and as we touched on in the open, big size up front. Also a big bruising back in Camp. He's a tough guy to bring down, so they really do expect to establish the running game early on.
Well, Josh Pressler, 6'3", 285 pounds. Ted Liberta, 5'9", 235. Seth Kelso, 6'1", 245. Craig Travis, 6'1", 239. And Chris Funk, 6'2", 252 pounds. That is a lot of Wheaties,
That's
friends.
some beef. That's some beef up front. Camp himself being 5'11", 176. So, again, no small guy himself.
Camp had a big run for a touchdown last week against Olathe South, a 77-yard touchdown run. Up the middle for the Indians.
Mark Brown, the fullback, getting the first carry.
Mark Brown, he had a 15-yard touchdown run last week for the Indians. Olathe South winning 19-7 a week ago. Shawnee Mission East shut out by Olathe North 28-0. Olathe North will be doing that to a lot of teams, though, this year.
You can expect it. Reverse.
And that is McInnes, who gains very little. Knocked out of bounds at the 20-yard line. LaRon McInnes, a transfer from Shawnee Mission Northwest.
Not playing much tailback, really working out of the slot primarily, as he did on that reverse carry. A lot of guys trying to share the ball here, Shawnee Mission North.
McInnes last year had almost 500 yards for Shawnee Mission Northwest. Joe Camp, of course, the feature back this year, for the Indians. 3rd down and 8. Hester looking to the far side. The ball is caught but tackled immediately. In on the tackle is Scott Ludwig for Shawnee Mission East, and Joe Camp will go deep to punt for the Indians, and that had to be a big first drive for the Lancers, Kevin Sanders.
Oh, anytime you can hold Shawnee Mission North at 3 and out, you got to feel good about, what you're doing on defense. And Coach Percy is going to come out of this with a pretty good field position also, so it's a double win situation for the Lancers.
Drew Keller is deep. Here is the kick. It's almost blocked. There's contact, but no flag. And the ball goes out of bounds at about the 44-yard line, and Glenn Percy had a few things to say about his team this week.
Well, I expect a very tough ball game. They're a large football team. They've got a very good fullback who's big, like they always have, and they have an awfully good running back in this young man named Camp. I think he had 191 yards last week against Olathe South. So we expect a very, very tough ball game. What we're going to try to do against them is throw the football a little bit and see if we can sustain some drive.
Here we have the first play offensively.
Fumble.
And a fumble, and Pierce recovers and gains maybe a couple of yards after the recovery. It'll be 2nd down, about 9. Make that 8. 2nd down and 8 for Shawnee Mission East. They are in Indians territory, and they would certainly like to take advantage of that, Kevin.
Oh, just great field position right here. I mean, if nothing else, you want to make sure you get in field goal range with the kicker that you have in McClatchy. And just hard to tell what went wrong on that first exchange, whether the quarterback pulled out a little early or whatever the case may have been, but at least they recovered the ball.
2nd and 8. High formation behind Pierce. Pitch back. And a few yards for number 32, Eric Coons for Shawnee Mission East. He'll be short of the 1st down. Coons and Gagnon, I'll say that correctly sooner or later, Gagnon are expected to carry the load offensively out of the backfield for the Lancers tonight. And Pierce this year hoping to improve on his 35% passing completion from a year ago. And Glenn Percy, the coach of Shawnee Mission East, admitting that Pierce, for the most part, was running for his life a year ago. Another fumble. And they're going to have to get some communication straightened out there, Kevin.
Something between the quarterback and the center not quite clicking right now. And yes, as you mentioned, Pierce and the center really got to talk and get better control of that situation. That really cost them a 1st down opportunity.
It is 4th down and well outside of any field goal opportunity for the Lancers, but they are in a position to possibly go for it on 4th down. This would be a 55-yard attempt if they actually try it. There's the snap, and the kick will not make it. Low line drive gets into the end zone. It's no good. So the ball will revert back to the Indians after the unsuccessful field goal attempt by McClatchy. John Pierce had to do a lot of scrambling last year, and Glenn Percy talks about that in an interview from earlier this week.
I think John is going to help us an awfully lot, although Drew Keller really did a good job for us. He stepped in a situation that he hadn't taken a lot of snaps, and the kids rallied behind him. I don't think that Drew hurt us so much, but you see, when we have John, Drew can help us a lot of other places. And John is kind of a leader for us. The kids voted him in almost unanimously as one of our captains, and he's got a lot of confidence, and he has some pretty good skills. He also is an awfully good defensive football player. So we're not going to start him on defense, but I'm sure he'll get to play quite a lot back there.
Okay. Glenn Percy talking about Drew Keller last week, who was involved in a lot of activity for the Lancers. He returned a couple of punts for 16 yards. He was 5 for 19 at quarterback, and he also had an interception. So he contributed mightily to the Lancer effort a week ago, but there's Drew Keller, number 15.
Mark Brown got that last carry for North. Joe Camp still yet to touch the ball for the Indians.
Inside handoff to Weiss, I think. Pardon me, that was McInnes on the carry. And I tell you what, that Lancer defense has done a good job so far.
Yes, indeed.
Against a team that a week ago had more than 300 yards rushing.
Again, Coach Percy is showing a lot of confidence in his defense, even attempting that field goal attempt and giving up the great field position at that point in time, really feeling that his defense can hold North early on.
3rd down and 9 for the Indians. It would appear to be a passing situation. Hester a week ago was 2 for 6 for 12 yards and an interception. Short drop, looking downfield. It is picked off! Picked off by the Lancers and out of bounds at the 30-yard line. It'll be 1st and 10.
Brian Petzl.
1st and 10 for the Lancers, a big interception.
Well, a lot of air under this pass here. Really kind of lofted up. Petzl with the good coverage just comes over in front from his free safety position, picks it off. Nice little return.
The senior, 5'11", 160 pounds, Ryan Petzl with the interception.
Again, very good field position for the Lancers here. See if they can capitalize on this second opportunity.
2 wide receivers right of John Pierce. I formation. Long drop, pass down the middle, and it is almost intercepted. It went through the hands of David Dacchiardi.
Wow.
And he has to be second-guessing himself somewhat. That was right to him. It looked like he was the intended receiver almost.
It sure did indeed. Looking through the binoculars here, Lorrell, still not quite a clean exchange between Pierce and the center, or even that last snap. Still juggling the ball a little bit when he comes out from center.
2nd down and 10 for the Lancers. They are at the 32. Here's the pitch back, Gagnon. He has some room, he has a 1st down, and he's brought down at about the 16, 17-yard line. 1st down for the Lancers.
Well, Gagnon does a good job of making someone miss early on there to pick up the additional yardage. So you see the good crowd. Right there, a little cutback inside. Gains an additional 4 or 5 yards. Good run by Gagnon.
Gagnon, only a sophomore. 6:40 to go, clock running in the 1st quarter. No score in this game between the Lancers and the Indians. Lancers have the ball on the 17. There is Brian Riggle. Riggle on the carry. Minimal gain. Now the big men for the Lancers on the offensive line hurting a little bit, Kevin.
A bit nicked up. Coach Percy was telling us before the game started. Neck injury, a bad back.
Bagby, number 77. You see him there to the left of the line, to the left of Pierce. A stinger in the neck, and Pitt, a pulled muscle in his back. 2nd and 6. Here's the pitch back. Gagnon has a lot of room. Crosses the 10 and the 5. And he is close to another 1st down.
I tell you, if Lorrell McInnes hadn't broken his momentum, that quite possibly was going to be a score.
Here you see it. Boy, he had a lot of time to really get up a lot of steam.
Boy, McInnes able to fight off a block, finally gets to Gagnon to bring him down. The Lancers knocking on the door.
Dan Cates also involved in that tackle for the Indians. 5:34 to go, clock running, and the Lancers with an opportunity to take the lead.
See if they run over Bagby's side.
Gagnon does not make it. He was hit twice, and he was trying to angle his way into the end zone, but the Indians were there to stop him before he crossed the goal line.
Well, you had to figure they were going to run behind number big 77, Bagby, on that left side.
This all started with an interception by Ryan Petzl. And the Lancers have been moving the ball ever since with Gagnon, the featured running back.
Well, East was blanked in their last contest. This would be a big boost for them to get on the board early.
3 men in the backfield. Gagnon again. No, that's not Gagnon, that's Coons, but we got a flag on the play. Eric Coons crossed the goal line, but the referees talk about it. Illegal procedure. It will not count. It'll be 2nd down and 8 now.
Bit of a breather for the Indians.
We have a procedure penalty, 6 men on the line. Against the offense, 5-yard penalty, repeat 2nd down.
Well, they wanted to be able to try to move that defense.
You can see the surge. Everything looks good there, but
there's 77, Bagby, right in the middle of it for the Lancers.
I'm sorry, Bagby just moves people backwards. Big, strong guy.
4:39 to go in the first quarter, 2nd down and 8.
He's on the right side again.
There's the pitch back. Coons has it. He's hit hard at the 5.
Denied.
Denied. Yes, sir.
I'll tell you, this hole opens up and it looks like all daylight. McInnes prevents him from crossing the goal line.
3rd and goal. Looks like it's inside the 2 from this angle. Lancers trying to break into the lead. Here's Pierce, handoff, Coons, touchdown! Eric Coons with 3:54 to go puts the Lancers in the lead. So the Lancers take advantage of the interception, drive 40 yards for the touchdown, and they are ahead 6-0 over the Indians.
And one of the first guys up celebrating, number 77 again, Bagby, the big offensive lineman, doing a lot of work for his teammates and leads to a score.
As you mentioned, that has to be a momentum builder, Kevin, for this team. They lost to the Indians a year ago, 21-7. The extra point is good by McClatchy. So 7-0 with 3:54 to go. They also had some celebration earlier this week. They had a Lancer parade, and let's take a look at that. Annual event. We're seeing a Lancer Day parade. They always have this, I understand, leading into the 2nd game of the year. Here we're back live, and you see some of the Shawnee Mission North contingent here tonight. They have a reunion night with a number of their players back from state championship teams in the late 60s and early to mid 70s. They had quite a run there, Kevin.
Yes, indeed. I think we counted 6 out of 10 years winning the state championship. And I think we're going to hear from the coach of that team, Larry Taylor, a little bit later on here tonight, but quite a phenomenal run.
And Bob Stauffer was an assistant coach on those teams, and he's hoping that the Indians can regain some of that this year. A long kick by McClatchy.
Gets a little pumped up.
And it's not often in high school football that you see that they have to go back to the 20 with a kick in the end zone.
I tell you, that's all leg. I mean, there's maybe a little breeze blowing tonight, but McClatchy got all of that one.
McClatchy as a punter a year ago, 38 yards per punt, the best in the Sunflower League, and he was also voted All-Metro by the Kansas City Star. So 3:51 to go in the first quarter, 7-0. Lancers with the lead. The Indians have the ball, 1st and 10 from their own 20. They have been unable to generate any offense thus far.
First carry for Joe Camp.
4 yards. It'll be 2nd down and 6. As we mentioned earlier, Camp had a 77-yard touchdown run a week ago. 191 yards total on 16 carries.
Not a bad day at the office.
Almost 12 yards a carry. That will gain a few smiles on the part of the coaching staff. Camp again.
The Lancers defense is looking very tough early on, especially up front.
Coming up on 3 minutes to go in the first quarter. 3rd down and 6 for the Indians. Here's the 3rd down play, setting up 2 backs behind Hester. Going to his left, and the pass incomplete. Indians have struggled so far, but a year ago with Brian Derlin at running back, they had a lot of success. And here's one of his touchdown runs from a year ago against Shawnee Mission East.
He was such a bruising back. I mean, just would run over people, very hard to bring down, low center of gravity. A load, you could say. I mean, just a load. So big shoes to fill on the part of Joe Camp, primarily living up to the little legend that Brian Derlin left behind.
Camp on the kick. Here is Keller calling for a fair catch, and he hangs
dropped
on to it, I think. No, it belongs to the Indians. Keller on the fumble, and the Indians will have the ball on the 47-yard line, their own 47.
Sanchez right there, picking up the loose ball. Keller couldn't quite hang on.
Well, that was a tough ball to try to catch. It looked like it was slicing away from him as it was coming down. And it would have been a difficult catch under the best of circumstances.
See if this gives the Indians a little momentum.
Hester, short drop, looking long down the sideline.
Little long.
No. Docchiardi, the intended receiver.
Trying to air it out a little bit.
Well, it seems like the Lancers have been able to smell out the run pretty effectively. And so Hester trying to lengthen the defense somewhat, create some holes. Pitch back. Camp has it. Camp still on his feet. Close to a first down for the Indians.
My word.
He must have broken 2 or 3 tackles
Oh,
there, Kevin.
he was 3 yards behind the line when the first Lancer defender showed up. He just juked him. And remember, that's running to the short side of the field. There's not a lot of ground to work with over there, and Camp makes the most of it for first down.
It is a first down for the Indians, their first of the game. And they have the ball on the 43-yard line of the Lancers. They are trying to tie the score. Eric Coons with a 2-yard touchdown run earlier in this first quarter to give the Lancers a 7-0 lead. Hester to McInnes. McInnes hit immediately by Bagby.
I tell you, doing it on both sides of the ball. Number 77, Chris Bagby, really sniffing that play out, getting a good penetration across the offensive line, stuffing his play in the backfield. You can see he sheds a defender there. First one in on the tackle on McInnes. And this young man's giving it all he's got tonight.
He's only 6'2", 266.
Yeah. I wouldn't want to pick up that dinner tab, I tell you.
Well, Randy, our stat man. Randy, what's your last name? Martin. Randy Martin was saying he had some of these guys in youth league, and now they're looking down on him, which has to be a little intimidating.
Oof.
Dan Cates on the reception, and he loses some yardage. I tell you what, this Lancer defense has really been impressive in the first quarter.
There's some hitting going on out there. Guys playing with a lot of confidence.
A lot of white shirts.
No doubt. David Davis, along with Prentice Hill on that stop.
Inside a minute now, clock running, first quarter. Lancers lead 7-0, 3rd down and 12 for the Indians. Through the hands of David Docchiardi. It'll be 4th down for the Indians. They are unable to take advantage of the fumble.
Petzel right there in coverage. Young man that got the interception earlier. Just a little bit high here by Hester, but a catchable ball.
So the Keller fumble does not hurt the Lancers. And Camp back to punt for the Indians.
Oh.
Gets it away. Fair catch. Keller makes the catch this time. And it'll be 1st and 10 for the Lancers from their own 23-yard line. 35 seconds left to go in the first quarter. Ryan Petzold with an interception for the Lancers, and that led eventually to a 2-yard touchdown run for Eric Coons.
Now this is the deepest penetration for the Lancers as far as starting their own territory. They did sacrifice the field position on that muffed punt.
There is Coons. And right there for the Indians was Mark Brown. Brown on the tackle. $18 seconds to go.
Are they going to try to get off another play?
10 seconds, I don't think so. Lancer crowd seeing a lot of excitement here in the first quarter. Unexpectedly, I would think that the Lancers with a 7-0 lead at the end of one quarter. Eric Coons, the 2-yard touchdown run, and that brings us to the end of quarter number 1. We'll be back.
Kronos Incorporated is a proud sponsor of local high school sports. Let Kronos increase your productivity with their automated workforce management programs.
Manufacturing is more competitive than ever. Improving efficiency, productivity, and quality can be the difference between success and failure in meeting the needs of today's demanding customers.
For more information, call Kronos at 491-5595.
We are back for the beginning of quarter number 2. Shawnee Mission East with the lead, 7-0 over the Indians of Shawnee Mission North. There you see some of the reunions. There you see some of the individuals from the reunion from the past Shawnee Mission North teams. And I tell you what, I just went to my 20-year high school reunion. I know that's hard for you to believe, Kevin, but
I know, I can't believe it.
20-year high school reunion, what you look for is how much hair you have, whether or not it's dark or gray, and what's happening around your waistline.
There you go.
And on all 3 counts, I did okay.
I'd say a good B plus,
B
somewhere
plus,
around there.
Nah, I go maybe C plus.
You're too humble.
Larry Taylor was a coach of all those teams that won state championships, and we had a chance to visit with him earlier.
Well, to have people that were high-quality individuals as well as people that had good athletic ability. And we had a stable coaching staff where we had a program established, and once we won some games, the 65 team was the first undefeated team, and from that time on, when we played, they expected to win. And winning is contagious, and so is losing. And it so happened that our players were used to winning, and when we took the field, well, we generally did that.
Tell me what. Boy, makes it sound easy, doesn't he?
Oh, yeah. Hey.
Just expect to win.
There you go. Very near interception there by Joe Camp on that last play.
Well, that had to be an exciting time here at Shawnee Mission North. And another fumble. Bad snap, and East recovers again.
Now,
That's
if we
the
know,
third time.
If we know Coach Percy at all, and I think we know him a little bit, I'm sure right now on that sideline he's going, what in the heck is going on out there between my quarterback and center? This is...
Well, he's probably saying that in a bit more colorful terms.
Yeah, exactly.
So they were unable to get off the third down play, and as a result, it is now 4th and 10, and the Indians should have decent field position after the kick by McClatchy. Doc Giardi is deep for the Indians.
Looks like the Indians are really trying to set up a return here, too.
Here's the snap. McClatchy with the punt. And Docchiardi wisely lets it fall. He was thinking about it.
He did. You can hear teammates shout, "Get away, get away."
So the Indians will have a first down on their own 42.
And the offense just hasn't clicked so far for the Indians. I mean, they've tried mixing it up, running the ball inside, outside, swing pass, a little screens, and man, the Lancers just been sniffing it all out early on here.
Some of that might be an advantage of second game of the year. They were able to take a look at some tape from last week's game. With the first game of the year, you just don't quite have that advantage. They're able to work out some things, trying some schemes that will try to take advantage of the other team's weaknesses. On that carry, Mark Brown dives across for a couple of yards. Second down and 9.
I know it's tough to come by so far for the Indians. I believe unofficially in the first quarter, Hester was 6 passes for just 2 yards.
Here's the pitch back. Camp breaks a couple of tackles. Brought down at the 48. It'll be third down. This may well still be another passing situation as you see Camp on the replay.
Well, it's really kind of a tweener there. I mean, you know, it's one of those, if you got the running game going, you could just go ahead and run it, but since that's really not been too effective, the Indians probably will put it up here.
Grant Denny is, oh, pardon me. That's Camp.
But what do I know?
Camp has a first down. He crosses the 45 of the Lancers. I was going to say Jared Brandon was wide right there for the Indians, but he had to be just a decoy because there was Camp on the carry.
And you can see him just picking his way, little cutback, cuts back to the outside once again, gets the first down yardage. Good run by Camp.
One of the rare first downs for the Indians tonight, and it comes in Lancer territory. Hester.
Middle screen.
Sets it up. Brown on the catch. He gains about 7 yards. Boy, he threw that into a crowd too, Kevin.
I tell you. I mean, he found his lane, but it was through, looks like a bunch of arms, but he did get it to his fullback.
A lot of white shirts there for the Lancers, but Brown with the catch. Gain of 6, it'll be second down and 4 with 8:42 remaining. And the Indians looking to tie this game. Hester back to pass again. Off the hands of Jared Brandon.
Just a little turnout pass, trying to get just enough for a first down.
Scott Ludwig was there defensively for the Lancers. It'll be 3rd and 4. Okay, now run, pass.
I goofed last time, so I'm just going to be mum on this one.
A 3rd and 4. Camp was looking pretty good on that last run. He'll probably go to Brown this time. Opens Camp. He goes around the near side, and he crosses the 30, and that'll be enough for a first down for the Indians. So they're starting to grind it out.
Well, Coach Stauffer's really been spreading the ball around, and it's been most effective when it seems to be most effective anyway in the hands of number 22. We got Camp at 6 carries for 37 yards.
He's about on his pace from last week. Coming up on 8 minutes to go in the first half. Camp and Brown behind Hester. Brown on the carry. Brown running over some people. Crosses the 20. Finally brought down at the 18-yard line of the Lancers.
As you mentioned, he took a couple Lancers for a ride there. In on the final tackle, Percival. I don't know if he was tackling or hanging on for life. Either one, he did finally bring Brown down. But as you mentioned, getting deep in the secondary, carrying a couple of defensive backs with him, picking up the first down again.
Brown is a senior, 6'1", 219 pounds. First and 10 from the 18. Camp. Brought down at the 11.
Camp gets everything out of every run. I mean, just whatever the run gives him, he just gets the most out of it. You can see he finds his crease and just look at the leg drive at the end, just still trying to get every inch he can.
Chris Abrams in on the tackle for Shawnee Mission East. 7:09 to go in the first half. Indians driving. Brown. Brought down at the 8. It'll be 3rd and short.
Another look at Percival, young man that picked off the pass earlier. And we saw the Lancers defense hold tough in the first quarter. Now they're really being challenged here inside the red zone, and the Indians mounting a drive.
They are going to measure for the first down. Now there's someone enjoying her job. Here you go, referee.
A smile from sideline to sideline.
It is inches short. Third down.
A remeasure.
For the Indians, they will remeasure, and as we mentioned, inches short. 6:48 to go. Good crowd on hand, both sides of the stadium. Lancers with a good crowd, Indians with a good home crowd.
Now the down marker says 2, the scoreboard says 4th.
Uh-oh, Colorado, Missouri. Here we go again. I think it should be 3rd down.
There we go. Communication here in the box, same way.
Well, does that bring back bad memories for a Missouri football fan? 5 downs late in the game.
Easy now. Easy now.
Yeah,
Don't let it get to you.
Get down. Up. Brown should have enough for the first down. Brown had a 15-yard touchdown run last week. And another big play for North last week in their win over Olathe South. Steve Service, an 81-yard interception return for a touchdown.
We have Brown on 6 carries for 28 yards so far tonight.
Well, Bob Stauffer always has that good combination of a quick back
and a big bruising fullback. Man, where did they find him?
I think they got stock in Wheaties or something. Up the middle again, and a no.
Still waiting on the signal?
Yes, maybe. Short. It'll be 2nd and goal from inside the 1. Indians knocking on the door, hoping to tie with 5:50 to go, clock running in the second quarter.
Well, here's where you want to use that 1,300 pounds that we talked about in the open. Big up front, big in the backfield.
Just a matter of who to hand it off to. They've got McInnes in the back, Brown and Camp.
Brown stuffed.
Touchdown.
Got over.
Brown, a 1-yard run, brings the Indians to within 1 point, pending the extra point attempt. An impressive drive by the Indians, capped off with a 1-yard touchdown run by Mark Brown with 5.5 minutes to go in the first half.
I tell you, Brown did just break the plane on that touchdown run. Lancer's right there, but unable to stop him from getting in.
So now the extra point. Greg Geyer, left-footed kicker. The kick is good, and we're tied. 7-7. with 5:30 left to go in the first half.
Impressive drive by the Indians put together in that last sequence. Again, really mixing it up between the two backs, between Camp and Brown. Run the ball effectively, mixing a short pass here and there. Not
This is, of course, a reunion night for Shawnee Mission North and all their state championship teams from the late 60s and early 70s, and they had a barbecue before the game.
nice hats. I don't know whose idea that was, but
Well, you know, it's kind of a Greg Norman type of look to it. I bet
Yeah.
they played golf earlier.
and then the banner, I don't know if we can see it clearly on anyone's hat, but the banner spells out the years that they won the championships.
That is Dean Pierce, a North graduate.
Whose son is, of course,
John Pierce. There you see him, number 11, standing on the sidelines.
hoping to be a part of a few championship teams, maybe a couple.
Well, that has to be fun. I mean, can you imagine the stories that were being told?
Oh, I can only imagine. Maybe slightly exaggerated.
Well, when you have state champions like they did, there was no exaggeration at all.
That's true. That's true.
Geyer with a short kick. Gagnon on the reception at the 10. Straight up the middle. Gagnon.
Oh, he was stopped.
He hit by Dan Cates at the 35.
Oh,
Gagnon has to be helped up a little bit. His bell was rung, and he is very tentative going back to the huddle.
I can only imagine it must be like driving 50 miles an hour, then hitting a brick wall. Gagnon, Lane, up the middle. Cates, hello.
Put
Man,
down the helmet.
stopped in his tracks.
Holy mackerel. They better check him out a little bit. He may think he's in next Tuesday or
My.
something.
Cates, 6 feet, 165. Not a huge guy, but that was a huge hit.
Timeout called by John Pierce.
Bruce, can we see it one more time?
Wow, wow, was that a hit. Brian Riggle is in the backfield now for Shawnee Mission East, along with Coons, so they're going to give Gagnon a bit of a break before getting underway.
Well, don't
here
say
again.
break, I mean.
Well, yeah, he was almost broken in half on this. Watch this again. Stood
Boom!
up, put down.
Oh, my.
Whoa.
And that's a picture-perfect tackle. I mean, just good form.
He was leaning forward, his feet planted, and Gagnon came right into him. And there was no doubt what was going to happen.
No doubt about it.
1st and 10, 5:01 to go in the second quarter. Lancers have the ball just across the 35-yard line, their own 35. Game is tied at 7. Pierce with the handoff. And do we have a fumble? No, Lancers have it. Coons on the carry.
It was bobbled a little bit on the pitch.
And that was a good surge by the offensive line of the Lancers. Watch this.
So a little batted around a little bit.
And Bagby's there. He came on top of everybody there. I bet they appreciated that. 260 pounds right on top of you. 2nd and 3. Pierce with the pitch. And a hit!
McInnes!
My gosh! McInnes coming out of nowhere.
Well, he just came slanting down from looks like a defensive end position and shut it down.
Ooh, shake your head there. Man, oh man.
We heard Coach Larry Taylor earlier say how winning was contagious.
Watch
So
this.
is hitting. When you get one of your teammates puts a good hit on somebody, you feel like you're obligated to get one in also.
3rd down and 4 for the Lancers. Here's the handoff. Coons. He has the first down if they give him the right spot. He was surging ahead. He crossed the 45 And that should be enough for a first down, and it is.
And 5 yards down play, still blocking, Chris Bagby. Coons 7 carries, 25 yards on the evening.
3.5 minutes to go in the first half, and the Lancers looking to take the lead. Here you see some fine running by Eric Coons. Coons again. Indians ready this time. It'll be 2nd and 10.
First contact, Jeremy Johnson firing across the line, getting into the Lancer backfield. As we see the ambulance there, hopefully not coming for anyone here.
The Shawnee Mission East Lancers have a tough opening schedule. They opened a week ago against Olathe North, one of the top teams in the area. They're playing the Indians tonight, and next week they take on Lawrence. So a tough opening 3 games for the Lancers. Pierce looking downfield. And the ball is
out of bounds.
Out of bounds.
Camp finally got control, but he was out of bounds.
That pass intended for Scott Ludwig, and Pierce showed a good arm on that throw.
Well, Pierce, again, getting the time that he didn't have last season, airs it out a bit. Camp steps in, but doesn't gain control until he's out of bounds.
That'll make it 3rd down and 10 from the 45 of the Lancers. Pierce's passing percentage probably not that good, but he has shown that he's able to throw the ball effectively. Here he is again, under pressure.
Nice footwork.
He keeps the ball.
Oh, the spin move.
His feet, and he's just short of the first down. Great run by John Pierce.
Boy,
Pierce didn't play last week. He had a kidney injury. And he's showing
eludes 1 defender, 2 in the backfield, puts a move on there.
A lot of fortitude for that young man.
Spin move. That's a competitor.
Short of the first down. And the Lancers lining up like they are going for it.
Joe Camp is covering 2 receivers on the right. Now McInnes drops back into coverage.
Here's the snap. And a first down for the Lancers. That's a big play. Inside 2 minutes, 1:48 left to go in the first half. Lancers hang on to the ball. They have it 1st and 10 on the 43 of the Indians.
Good surge.
Well, if the Indians did not expect it, they know it now. They're in for a game tonight.
Hey, I tell you.
.130 to go in the first half. Pierce angles it to the right side. Gagnon on the catch, but he'll lose a few yards.
Boy, that's so dangerous to kind of bootleg out one way and then try to throw all the way back across the field.
And then to somewhat lob the ball.
Yeah, I mean.
A lot of opportunities for the Indians to pick it off there, but Gagnon came down with the catch and lost 4 yards. It'll be 2nd and 14. Coming up on a minute to go. Passing situation, it would appear to be, for the Lancers. Pierce, quick pass. Close to a first down. Prentice Hill.
Take a timeout here.
35 seconds to go. Timeout Lancers. They are driving again, and they would like nothing more than to come away with a lead of some kind. A field goal or a touchdown would be the maximum, of course. They've got Andy McClatchy on the sideline, who attempted a 45-yard field goal earlier this evening and was unable to hit it. Uh-oh. I feel the hair coming out. 35 seconds to go. Ryan Petzold, an interception tonight, setting up the Lancer touchdown by Eric Coons, a 2-yarder with 3:54 left in the first quarter. And Mark Brown tied it with 5.5 minutes to go in the second quarter with a 1-yard touchdown lunge. Now it's 3rd down and 2, 35 seconds to go. The ball just inside the Indian 35. Chris Abrams and Fredo are wide left, and we have a flag. It would appear to be against the Indians. A penalty-free first half.
Boy, that's just what the Indians don't want, is giving the Lancers a chance to move the ball
Dead
forward
ball
without
foul, encroachment against the defense. That's going to be a first down.
any chance to move the ball ahead 5 yards without any time taken off the clock. Gives them the first down from the 30-yard line, inside the 30.
Fredo and Abrams wide left. Single back behind Pierce. Pierce looking into the end zone. The ball is incomplete.
Nearly a one-arm interception. Drifting back, Dan Cates in coverage. Looks like that ball hung up maybe a little bit.
Here you see it again.
You see a little bit of a duck, and Cates goes up with the one arm and almost pulls it down.
28 seconds to go. 2nd down and 10. Tied at 7. Lancers trying to go into halftime with the lead. Gagnon goes wide left, as does Drew Keller. Pierce, the handoff to Coons. Minimal gain. Clock continues to run, 22 seconds left. It'll be 3rd down for the Lancers. Had that Lancer parade earlier this week, and we have a good Lancer crowd here tonight. See it, that Lancer parade was today, I understand.
The leaders of this community with the power.
That's supporting your team.
Yeah, that's getting revved up, man.
Casey Wolf.
What is he doing there? And they're going one way. They hope to a touchdown, or at least a lead. Even had it going in the right direction. How do you like that?
There you go. It's prophetic.
Or
another word that sounds similar to that.
Puppet. 3rd down and 10. Pierce under pressure, and he's brought down. Behind the line of scrimmage, brought down at the 36, and McInnes, if this were college,
yeah,
there would be a flag.
4 seconds, 3.
I doubt they won't be able to get this off.
No.
And that is the end of the first half. It's a tie game. Shawnee Mission East and Shawnee Mission North tied at 7 as we go to halftime.
John Williams.
here in the second half, but here you see some video taken at halftime of the players who were part of the championship teams for Shawnee Mission North in 1967, 65, 69, 70, 71, and 74. During that era, okay, Kevin, I understand my mic is not working. Go ahead.
Again, we're looking at the members of the 6-time championship football squads that were here at Shawnee Mission North, coached by Coach Larry Taylor. He was honored with a plaque during the halftime ceremonies from all the guys.
And let's see if my mic is working at this point. Sounds like it is. And the Lancers return the second half kickoff to about the 30-yard line. It'll be 1st and 10. These individuals were parts of those teams in the 70s and the 60s. And I tell you what, they had something like 80 wins during that era, Kevin, 13 losses, 3 or 4 ties, and all those state championships. They had a tremendous run, and those guys deserve a lot of credit, and they're coming back here tonight to tell the current high schoolers how to get it done. There's Coons on the run. He is short of the first down.
Well, Coons showing how to get it done there.
Yeah, he certainly is.
Nice run from scrimmage.
Here are the halftime stats. You see the rushing yardage, very similar, 69 for the Lancers, 75 for the Indians. Passing yardage, very similar, 8 and 10. The interception by the Lancers led to their touchdown. And on the returns, the yardage that you see there. Second down and short. Coons gets the first down for the Lancers.
And updating the rushing yards from the first half and even up to currently, Gagnon had 3 carries for 25 for East. Coons officially 11 for 30. Pierce 4 carries, 12 yards. Riggle 1 carry for 4, and Hill 1 carry, no gain. For Shawnee Mission North, Joe Camp 7 carries, 43 yards. 3 carries, 4 yards, McInnes, and then Brown, who had the 1-yard touchdown run, 8 carries, 36 yards.
There's Coons on the carry. 8 yards that time around, and I tell you what, that offensive line for Shawnee Mission East really pushing back the Indians.
Well, we talk about how the third quarter or the third period is usually so critical, and you see the Lancers coming out strong with their first possession in this third quarter, really wanting to establish themselves again. Their defense tried to fight off the Indians, keep them from scoring at the tail end of the first half. Now they're looking to come back and get that momentum back on their side, and so far a nice drive they're putting together. And just as soon as I opened my big mouth,
well, they did have the ball at midfield, and after the penalty, they will move back 5 yards. Shawnee Mission East flagged for illegal procedure. It looked like the offensive line had a
dead ball, false start on the offense, 5-yard penalty, second down.
Looked like the offensive line had a different snap count than the center and the quarterback did.
Yeah, that's not good.
Things don't work that way. Second down and 7.
Middle of your picture there, big number 77. Bagby has had a tremendous game. We see Coons again off the left side. And speaking of men in the trenches, along with Bagby, he and his fellow teammates doing a good job up front. You're going to see these guys really push the Indians back. Just all you need is just to make a little opening for your tailback to get through there, and Coons has made the best of it so far tonight.
Third down and 3, and my microphone is working.
I guess you're unemployed for right now. 3rd and 3 for the Lancers.
Here's back.
Pierce, the drop back. Looks like long enough for first down yardage. Prino on the right side. And it will be good enough for a first down. Just a simple out. Prino gets enough space between himself and the defender, picks up the first down yardage. keeps the drive alive for the Lancers. They are now at the 43-yard line of the Indians. Moving the ball very well.
Is my microphone working? I think it is. Hey, it is not working. Go ahead, Kevin.
Up the middle is Coons. Looks like he's got another 3 or 4 yards. We'll call it 3 on that carry.
I feel so left out.
It's just good having you here in spirit. 2nd and 7 for the Lancers. 2 receivers wide to the left. Here's flips to Coons. Appears to have another first down for the Lancers. And that left side of the line looking real strong for the Lancers. Bagby, one of the anchors there, number 77.
Coons has just been so quick getting those pitches and being able to take advantage of the blocking in front of him there, Kevin. He's just been doing a terrific job so far here in the second half.
Yes, indeed. So 1st and 10 from the 31. Coons. First down yardage again, it appears.
Something you wouldn't have expected coming into tonight's game. The Lancer line of scrimmage, their offensive line is really dominating here as we begin the third quarter. You would have expected that much more from the Indians side of the ball.
Yes, especially since the Indians go 250, 260 in so many positions. And at this point, or so far during this drive, the Lancers being able to move them back with ease. Not quite a first down gain there. Second very short for the Lancers. Keeper. And
I don't know how much of that was actually planned, Kevin. He was looking around for somebody to hand it off to, and then he was able to finally see that he had a gap. Well, maybe it was planned.
Yeah, take a look at it there. Looks like it was designed that way. First down yardage. Lancers maintain the drive. 1st and 10 inside the 20. Coons. Short gain, if any, this time.
Well, you've got to try to take advantage of the man who's been carrying the ball for you very effectively throughout this third quarter. That time it looked like the Indians had Eric Coons figured out, so maybe it'll be time to try out Gagnon or try a pass at this point. Maybe a fake into the line and a pass into the end zone. We'll see what happens.
2nd and 9 from about the 19. Coons with room. Very near the first down. And we're going to see the surge on this left side, Lorrell.
Now, Coons has really been able to follow his blocking so far here in this first drive of the third quarter, and they have been able to hang on to the ball, which is really key for the Lancers. It is inside 6 minutes to go, so this is a 6-minute drive for the Lancers to begin the third quarter.
Third down and less than a yard to keep this drive alive. Coons hit at the line. It'll be close. Pierce believes he has it. And they move the chains.
Now this is where the going really gets tough on the interior line in the trenches. I mean, you have some big young men really going after each other offensively and defensively. And now the Indians are in a position where they have to make a stand to keep the Lancers out of the end zone on their first drive of the third quarter.
We'll see what luck they have here. Pierce, bootleg right, keeps it. Looks like he gets down to about the 5. And Lorrell, I don't know if that was just good coverage or broken pass patterns, but heads-up play by Pierce.
Well, I tell you what, he showed some good moves in the open field there, Kevin, and if he had any fear from last year, I think he's doing a lot better in getting the fear, the butterflies to fly in formation here as we begin the second half. This has been an impressive drive. We're inside 5 minutes now, almost 4.5 minutes to go in the third quarter. Lancers still have the ball.
Coons again. Inside the 5, maybe down to the 3. Third down and goal. Coons now 20 carries, 74 yards. 46 in this half alone, so he has been the workhorse coming out for this second half, third quarter.
Keller's wide left in this formation.
Coons at the goal line. No call. Evidently stopped right at the goal line, short of the touchdown.
McInnes was involved in that tackle for Shawnee Mission North. They were able to push back Coons, and there you see the brain trust for the Lancers. They have a 4th and goal. Pierce stays on the field, and let's see what the Lancers decide to do. It looks like they're going to line up and go for the touchdown. Big play here in the third quarter, coming up on 3 minutes to go.
Quick snap. He's in. So a very impressive drive for the Lancers coming out to start this third quarter. And from maybe a half yard out, Coons puts the capper on it. 6 more points on the board for the Lancers.
An 8-minute, 59-second drive. That is huge. And this really gives the Lancers a lot of momentum heading into the rest of this ball game. They take the lead, and the Indians will have the ball only for a few minutes here in the third quarter.
As you mentioned, using a lot of clock and just marching the ball down the field against the Indians. Now for the extra point attempt. It's good. 14-7 with 3 minutes, 1 second left here. And the Lancers come out of the locker room very strong as we see this 1-yard plunge by Coons. So again, Lorrell, the big halftime ceremonies here for the Indians. You know, you really get the crowd into it. You celebrate the guys from the previous championship seasons. And then the Lancers come out and put a very impressive drive together.
Bruce, could you, yeah, there we go. We had a lot of chatter in our headsets here, folks, so just a little bit of inside baseball there. And my microphone still is not working. They've been trying to get me to shut up for 10 years.
I'm just glad people can't see how we're...
TCI. So, at any rate, I'll try out my microphone here. Is it working?
Very faint, if at all.
Very faint. Okay. Well, I don't know if the wonderful people here at TCI will be able to fix this, but now we're just getting very intimate here, Kevin, and...
Yeah, no, I'm glad we're off camera. No one sees how we're pulling this off. I am a married man, you know.
Yes,
so,
yes, and
I don't need the rumors. And
wife
everything.
is expecting child here soon, I understand.
Hey,
congratulations.
You know, well, thank you very much.
So 14-7 with 3:07 to go, and the Lancers with that 9-minute drive to begin the second half. That they're going to be pumped up defensively. It's going to be a tough series of downs here for the Indians as we have the kickoff.
This one back also in the end zone, touchback once again, so the Indians will start from their own 20. Weiss down in the back in the end zone. And so Coach Stauffer really has a challenge ahead of him as he's seen this Lancer offense come out in this third quarter, march the ball right down the field almost effortlessly. I mean, Coons averaging probably a good 8 yards a carry during that drive, and as you mentioned, eating up most of the clock for this third quarter.
I would imagine the defensive coach for the Indians has a few things to say to his players, but then in high school, a lot of them play both ways, so maybe he'll get in some things to say later. There's Camp on the run.
In the open field, still on his feet. Well, that's one way to answer. So from the first play of scrimmage.
That was from the 20. That's about a 43-yard run. 43-yard run on first down. Joe Camp with his biggest run of the night, and it could not have come at a better time for the Indians.
Just a good run out in the open field. Takes off a couple tackles. Finally brought down 43 yards from scrimmage. Joe Camp.
You know, you're doing such a good job, Kevin. I don't think they're serious about fixing my microphone here.
First down for the Indians. Camp. No, Brown. Brown stopped right at the line. We do have a flag on the play. And preliminary indication against the Indians.
Brown a bit slow getting up here as well. Trainers coming onto the field.
This game brought to us in part by our good friends over at Chronos, Lorrell.
Chronos, the time management experts. Call Chronos at 491-5595 for more information, and we appreciate Chronos' support.
A motion penalty against the offense is refused. It's going to be second down.
We appreciate Chronos and their support of high school sports on TCI Cable.
As you mentioned, Mark Brown, a little bit nicked up, comes out of the game on the sideline right now. 2nd and 9. 2 minutes, 41 seconds left in this third quarter. Indians trying to answer a very impressive drive put together by the Lancers. Joe Camp, 43 yards from scrimmage for their first play. Now 2nd and 9 on the short game by Mark Brown, as again we see him on the sideline there. When they pull the toes back like that, usually cramps. Young lady who has no interest in being on camera.
No, don't be shy. Come on. It's your opportunity to shine. There's Camp getting set up in the backfield for the Indians. Big play for the Indians coming up.
Quick pass, incomplete.
That was intended for David Docchiardi, and it looked like it was a bit behind him, and he wasn't able to come back with his hands and make the catch.
Hard to see if that was supposed to be a slant in and then back out, or maybe just a hitch pass, but as you mentioned, the pass appeared to be a bit behind the receiver. Passing tonight, Hester just 9 attempts for 10 yards. So Coach Stauffer mentioning how he really wanted to establish his passing game as well as the running game, which the Indians are known for, not having a lot of success tonight. Third down, Hester hit as he throws, but complete.
That catch by Jared Brandon, his first catch of the night, the 6'1 junior, 160 pounds, and that's a big first down for the Indians.
Hester handling the pressure very well. As you're going to see, he gets hit just as he releases the ball. Makes the completion. First down. Keeps the drive alive. Inside of 2 minutes in this third quarter. Camp hitting the backfield.
Fumble on the play. I think the Indians recover, though. They will maintain possession.
David Davis, one of the first defenders there for the Lancers.
Spencer Schubert also involved for the Lancers. Bob Stauffer sending in the play. Here you see it. Big hit by the defense.
Second down along 14 for the Indians. Back to pass. Grab by McInnes. First down yardage.
Landon McInnes, not used to coming out of the backfield to make those catches for Shawnee Mission Northwest a year ago. He gained almost 500 yards, all of it on the ground. But he was looking forward to having the opportunity to catch a few balls in the Indians offense, and there he was for the first time tonight. Big catch, first down, and they are inside the 10-yard line. It'll be first and goal for the Indians. They have an opportunity to tie now with 47 seconds left. The clock is running.
And McInnes with the defender draped all over him. Big catch. Brown.
Well, there's some fans there at Shawnee Mission North. Coming out to cheer their Indian football team here tonight. And there you see the Lancers on the far sideline. On the right side, it's Glenn Percy. One of those rare quarters where each team has the ball only once. No punting, no fourth downs. Lancers with a 9-minute drive for their touchdown, and now the Indians have an opportunity to tie with their own version of a touchdown. And we have a whistle.
See if there's too much time.
That is the end of the third quarter, and it is 14-7, Shawnee Mission East. We'll be back.
Kronos Incorporated is a proud sponsor of high school sports on TCI. Kronos can help your company increase productivity with their unique time management materials. This easy-to-use equipment provides complete employee tracking information, from punch-in to paycheck. Get your company on the road to greater productivity by calling Kronos at 491-5595.
We begin the fourth quarter. Shawnee Mission East with a 14-7 lead, but North is driving for the tie as we begin the fourth quarter. Eric Coons, the big running back for Shawnee Mission East in the third quarter, and he had a 1-yard touchdown run with 3 minutes left to cap off a 9-minute drive for the Lancers. And Kevin, that was an awfully impressive drive. We've been saying a lot of things about it, but the Lancers really came out strong in the third quarter.
I mean, they just had the big surge up front, and the workhorse, Coons, doing most of the running on that play. But again, they just really came out of the locker room determined, seemed like they had a purpose, that they really wanted to come back out and establish themselves after giving up the touchdown to the Indians, and really wanted to swing the momentum back on their side. And that they sure did. I mean, they just marched down the field, got the 7 points on the board, and now they're trying to fend off the Indians once again to keep them from answering that big score.
So we go into the final quarter. Shawnee Mission North looking to extend their record to 2-0 at the beginning of the season, and the Lancers trying to come away with their first victory of the season tonight. 2nd down and 4 from the 4. Brown up the middle, and he is stopped at the 2. It'll be 3rd down. We mentioned earlier that it was happening on this same end of the field. It gets tough on the interior line in these types of situations.
I think you made a real valid point earlier. I mean, when you think of offensive line size and being able to move people, you think of the Indians, and it was actually the Lancers that were able to do that in the third quarter, and now the Indians really counting on that size right now to get this score on the board.
3rd and 2. Here's the handoff and a hit. Big hit. Joe Camp does not get in. He left his feet there, Kevin, and it just wasn't there.
And that's a good point. I mean, that's what killed his momentum. He had to hurdle over either a block or a tackle laying in front of him, got himself up in the air, and one of the Lancer linebackers really put the shoulder pads to him, broke all his momentum, kept him from getting in.
So the Lancers scored their touchdown on a 4th down. Now it's the Indians' turn to try to tie with their own version from almost the exact same spot on the field. 4th and 2, big play coming up. Brown on the carry, Brown, touchdown. Mark Brown, a 2-yard touchdown run with 10:40 left, and pending the extra point, it is a 1-point lead for the Indians. So Brown with his second short yardage TD run tonight with 10 minutes and 40 seconds left, and that makes it 14-13 pending the extra point attempt by the Indians.
Well, credit Brown on that play. I mean, he really was stopped at the line of scrimmage, just determined to get in. The big back, the leg drive, hard to bring down, and was not going to be denied on that play.
The extra point attempt by Geyer. It is good. We are tied at 14 with 10 minutes and 40 seconds to go. And this has been a lot of fun tonight. These two teams have come out. They've played very well. We've had our share of flags, but not really that many, Kevin. It's been a very well-played game.
Yes, indeed it has. I mean, especially that third quarter, primarily penalty-free, except one against the Indians. And, yes, as you mentioned, just a real solid ball game on both sides of the ball tonight.
So we have 10 minutes and 40 seconds left to go. And now it will be the Lancers' turn to have the ball. For the second time in the second half, Eric Coons carried the load for the Lancers in that 9-minute drive in the third quarter, and it'll be interesting to see what Coach Glenn Percy decides to do as far as strategy goes for this drive, possibly getting Gagnon involved more in the offense, maybe setting up some passing plays. I don't remember a passing play at all in that 9-minute drive in the third quarter.
Not at all. But sometimes, you know, you go with the old philosophy, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. And
That's true.
That worked well in the third quarter for the Lancers.
Geyer on the kick. It's a long kick. Taken at the 5. Straight up the middle. That is Keller, brought down at the 32. Drew Keller on the return. And the last time we had a return there, Gagnon had his bell rung by Dan Cates, when it looked like Gagnon was going to break free for a long return. So 1st and 10 for the Lancers. Ball just across their own 30-yard line. 10:25 to go in the game, and we're tied at 14. Two wide receivers left. I formation, pitch back. Here's Gagnon with the ball. Gagnon gains 5. And that offensive line still doing a great job for the Lancers, Kevin.
Yes, indeed. And as you touched on, looks like Coach Percy mixing it up a little bit, getting Gagnon involved as we see him go off the right-hand side here. Remember that first drive that they had in the third quarter where they were really able to eat up the clock, and they ate up 9 minutes last time. They come in now with just over 10 minutes to play. So let's see if they are able to grind it out again and leave the Indians very little time on the clock.
2nd down, 5 for the Lancers. Gagnon again. Couple of yards short of the first down. He needed to cross the 40-yard line. It'll be 3rd down and 3 with 9.5 left. Game tied. There's Bob Stauffer. He always seems to be in charge of things.
Oh, yeah, no question about it. Really wanting his Indians to hold here. This will be a big defensive play for the Indians.
3rd and 2 make it. Here's Coons, 1st down. He's brought down just short of the 45-yard line. Here you see it again on the replay. We say it again, that offensive line for the Lancers just doing they're doing a great job.
There you go.
Ye old man's work. Inside 8:50. Pitch back. Gagnon to the sideline, crosses midfield. Gagnon across the 40. He has a 1st down, and he went out of bounds at the 38-yard line of the Indians. And here come the Lancers again.
Well, Prino really threw the key block on McInnes on this corner that was able to free Gagnon up to get around the corner to make the long run. We're going to see it here. He really blocks down on McInnes, frees up the corner for his back Gagnon. Gagnon down the sideline, makes the most of that run.
You know, it almost seems like the Lancers are setting themselves up to score almost too quickly after that 9-minute drive. If they score here, that will leave plenty of time for the Indians to make a comeback. It's 1st and 10 for the Lancers. Gagnon again, big yardage. Gagnon across the 30, close to another first down. Gagnon with a bit more speed than Coons. And it looks like on this drive, Gagnon will be the feature back. Well, you got to give a lot of credit to Coach Glenn Percy and his coaching staff. They have put together a very effective game plan tonight. And at times it seems that the Indians have been confused a little bit defensively, not expecting what the Indians are going to throw at them. Gagnon again. Fumble, and the Indians have it. The Indians recovered. Gagnon unable to hang on to the ball. And just as we were saying that the Indians seemed to be confused on defense, they forced a turnover. That's what they needed.
Yes, indeed. A big defensive stand there by the Indians. As you mentioned, things going so well for the Lancers. Gagnon had been on a roll, unfortunately coughs it up here. Now we'll see if the Indians can push this ball back down the field the other way.
That's only the 3rd turnover of the night for both teams. The 2nd turnover for the Lancers. There's the pitch to Camp. Camp runs out of room on the near side. It'll be 2nd down. Inside 8 minutes to go now. So a big fumble forced by the Indians with about 8 minutes left. And that opens the door for the Indians. Second down and 5 for Shawnee Mission North. And a delay. And a timeout for the Indians. Our officials timeout, pardon me, and a bit of an equipment problem. There you see some of the Indians on the sideline. Second down and 5, 7:15, clock running in the 4th quarter, game tied at 14. Camp. Oh, he almost broke free. He had one man to beat, and Drew Keller was there to make the tackle for the Lancers. That was close to a big run. Here you see it. Camp was able to break a tackle or two, but Keller was there to make the stop. It was enough for a first down for the Indians. They have the ball on their own 42-yard line, 1st and 10. Brown on the carry. And Kevin, it was the turn now for the Indians' offensive line to step up.
As you mentioned, Lancers' body's moving backwards. We unfortunately have an injured player here, Bagby, number 77, and man, that would be devastating for the Lancers to lose him. He's had such a big game tonight.
Bagby injured a week ago in what Coach Glenn Percy called a stinger to his neck. And everything I understand about that is that it is a very painful injury. So we don't know if that is what has caused the injury right now to Bagby, but Glenn Percy is standing there very concerned. And, well, some people are not as concerned. Here comes that full moon mentality, making itself felt in the stands with the Shawnee Mission North fans. 6:33 to go in this game. Shawnee Mission North and Shawnee Mission East tied at 14.
You know, Lorrell, you think with all the halftime festivities and the big picnic and barbecue going on for these past state champions here at Shawnee Mission North, surely these young men on the field now feel a big obligation to pull out a win here tonight. I mean, just think of the pressure these guys must be feeling, knowing that all these state champs are sitting up in the stands. A big crowd is out here tonight. Surely, you know, maybe they're feeling a little bit of, you know, just like we got to win this game. I mean, look at the people we have in attendance here. We can't let them down, so we got to pull this thing out.
Well, they have a tremendous opportunity now. They have the ball with 6:33 to go. It is 2nd down and 4 from the 48-yard line of the Indians. McInnes is in the slot. Brown and Camp in the backfield. Hester back to pass. Under pressure, he's brought down. Todd Friend, a 5'9", 200-pound junior, able to blitz into the backfield and make the tackle. He just ripped by Brown, and he was there to make the sack. Big defensive play for the Lancers. Inside 6 minutes now. Big play coming up for the Indians. 3rd down and 12. Passing situation. Hester over the middle, caught by McInnes. 1st down, Indians. McInnes there on a big catch for the Indians.
And not for lack of coverage. I mean, Prentice Hill is right here all over McInnes. He just brings that ball down, makes the catch, gets the 1st down. Big play.
That keeps the drive going for the Indians of Shawnee Mission North. 5.5 minutes to go. Clock running. Camp and Brown in the backfield. Pitch to Camp. Camp in the open. Keller there for another tackle. Tell you what, though, when your defensive backfield is making tackles, that is not a good trend.
Not what you're looking for. You know, you can't coach heart, and this guy, Camp, has a lot of heart. He will not go down on the first tackle. The guy just works for everything he can get out of every play, and you got to admire that in a football player.
It's another 1st down. Joe Camp now 98 yards unofficially on 13 carries. And McInnes, 2 catches tonight, which were big for the Indians. Here's Brown in the open. Brown brought down from behind inside the 10. Another 1st down for the Indians. This drive started on a fumble. There you see Brown, a quick hitter, and he was wide open and rumbling towards the end zone before he was brought down from behind, and we have another player injured for the Lancers.
Well, I won't say you could drive a truck through that hole, but at least a small Volkswagen. Pierce looks like he may be having a cramp situation too, as they're bending his toes back. But man, as you mentioned, a quick hitter by the Indians. Brown hits the hole very sharply, picks up a big gain for the Indians, and now they're knocking on the door, getting ready to put another score on the board, it appears.
82 yards on the night unofficially for Mark Brown. That's on 14 carries. We have a 1st and goal from the 8-yard line. .449 to go. Both teams tonight showing a lot of heart. Split backfield behind Hester. Brown on the carry, hit immediately by the Lancer defense. It'll be 2nd and goal. In on the tackle, Todd Friend. Here you see the time remaining. Now it's the Lancers' turn, Kevin, to stand up and force a turnover. But the Indians, an impressive drive of their own here in the final quarter. There's the pitch. Camp. Camp is in the end zone. Touchdown! The Indians have the lead with 3:54 remaining. That was a 6-yard touchdown run for Joe Camp. So the Indians take advantage of the fumble by the Lancers. With 8 minutes remaining, they keep the ball for about 4 minutes. And Joe Camp in for the 6-yard TD, pending the extra point. Geyer getting set, and Hester will hold. And it is good, no good, no good. So 20-14, the point after touchdown is no good. 3:54 remaining, and we will have to see if John Pierce gets back into the game as quarterback for Shawnee Mission East. He was injured defensively a few moments ago. If he is unable to play, Drew Keller would be there for the Lancers. Here you see the extra point going wide left. Well, you saw it wide right, but trust me, it was wide left.
Well, now the Lancers put into a situation that has been a little bit foreign to them. They're going to have to go possibly the length of the field in under 4 minutes as we see the touchdown run again by Joe Camp. And as you talked on in NCAA play, that'd probably be a personal foul.
Well, I think they're starting to get that figured out a little bit. 3:54 remaining. The Indians with the lead, 20-14. Both teams tonight have played very, very, very well. Geyer on the kick. Gagnon takes it, and he gets tangled up, and he is down at about the 15-yard line. Oh, that's unfortunate. They really needed a good run back there. Here you see it.
Gagnon maybe just a little bit anxious to try to redeem himself from the fumble recovery as the feet go out from underneath him. And Coach Percy, I'm sure, is just going to tell him to shake it off. You know, we're still in this game. Don't try to do too much. But the Lancers are going to have to put together a heck of a drive to get back into it here with just 3 minutes, 45 seconds left in this game.
Pierce is in the game. There's the pitch back to Coons. He gains maybe 3 yards. 3.5 minutes to go. The Lancers will be forced to put it up here as time begins to dwindle in this one. Indians looking to go 2-0 on the season. Lancers looking for their first victory. They are in Lawrence next week. Coons again, stuffed in the middle. Three minutes to go, clock running. Pierce, 7 of 18 tonight. And he will be forced to put it up in the air. 3rd and 6. Clock continues to run. 2 wide receivers left for the Lancers. Pierce looks over the defense. McInnes looking like he's getting ready to blitz, then he steps back. Over the middle, almost intercepted. That pass intended for Brian Riggle. And it'll be 4th and 6 with 2:23 to go. And we have a flag on the play, I believe. It's against the Indians, apparently. What did you see there, Kevin?
I didn't see the actual call itself, but fortunate enough for the Lancers, this play is going to keep the drive alive for them.
Dead ball, unsportsmanlike conduct against the red, that's first down.
Wow. That is not the best possible time for something like that to happen. Unnecessary roughness on the quarterback. First and 10 with 2:23 to go. Four catches and 8 attempts for Pierce, 18 yards. Or is that 100? No, that's 18 yards. Here we go. Pierce looking downfield, and it is knocked down by Mark Brown. Bruce, can we get any sound in our headsets here, please? Do we have any sound? Yes, we do. There we go. Okay, big pass, knocked down by Brown. 2:18 to go. Second down and 10. Ball on the 30 of the Lancers. Indians will be set to rush. Pierce with the handoff. Coons. Good yardage. It'll be third and about 5, but the clock continues to run. Lancers have to hurry. 2 minutes. Clock running. Third down and 4. 20-14, Indians with the lead. Keller and Prino, wide left. He's looking that way. Keller can't hang on to it. Jared Brandon knocked the ball away for the Indians.
Well, it's easy to see from up here, but Lancers ran a crossing pattern on the outside. Prino came underneath and then was on the sideline pattern. Both defenders had gone to the inside middle. Prino was wide open, but again, easier to see from up here than I'm sure down on the field.
That'll make it 4th and 4. 1:42 left. And we have a flag, and that looks like that will be against the Lancers. That'll move back the Lancers now to be 4th and 9. 1:38 to go. And you wonder what Glenn Percy will try to pull out of his coaching hat. He's been around for a long time. Bob Stauffer of the Indians has as well. I don't think either one could surprise the other. Indian crowd. And another violation. That'll be movement on the line. That'll make it 4th and 14. .138 left.
We have a dead ball. False start on the offense. 5-yard penalty, still 4th down.
Well, this drive was kept alive for the Lancers by a personal foul against the Indians, and now the Lancers themselves are really kind of taking away their own momentum with their penalties going against them, and we have a timeout now for the Indians.
Boy, this is going to be a tough play for the Lancers to be able to pull off with 1:38 to go in this game. They had so many things going for them for so long. They've played so well throughout the night, but now they trail 20-14, and you got to give the Indians a lot of credit too. There's Bob Swift, who is a University of Kansas kicker in the mid-70s, and he, of course, is an alum here at Shawnee Mission North. I bet those guys have just a bunch of ideas for what this team should do in this situation. But they've seen it all, and they've won it all a number of times through the 60s and the 70s. 1:38 left. 4th and 14 for Shawnee Mission East. Indian fans on their feet. Prino is open. He's got it. It'll be close to a first down. We cannot see if it is enough for a first down. It may be close. Let's see. The official on the far side signaling for a first down, and it is. That is a big, huge play for the Lancers. Pierce to Prino. First down.
Well, credit Prino for having the presence of mind enough to run a pattern deep enough to get the first down. And Pierce just delivers right on the money. Camp, you know, when you play corner, you're a man out on an island sometimes. He has a single coverage out there. Doesn't want to give up the deep pass, but allows Prino enough yardage to get the first down. Lancer's still alive.
1:31 to go. Pierce. Prino again. He's out of bounds. And it is, no, he is not out of bounds. Keep the clock running. It'll be 2nd down and 1. Clock continues to run and a timeout for Shawnee Mission East. Well, the way this game has gone, this is a fitting ending, Kevin.
I tell you, there's no quit in either team here, and you have to admire the Lancers. Had their back against the wall, they're 4th and forever. They come up with a big first down pass to Prino, and also another big catch by the wide receiver on this play. So Lancers far from out, and you just got to admire a team with this kind of heart. They come into a semi-hostile environment like this and hold their own. I mean, they performed very well tonight.
Shawnee Mission East hoping to come away with their first victory of the season. And these Indian fans would rather see Shawnee Mission North win and go to 2-0. Well, this has been a great game tonight, but next week we'll be in Blue Valley. And it will be St. Thomas Aquinas against Blue Valley Northwest. And that should be a terrific matchup. Well, you wonder, we mentioned earlier, what can Glenn Percy pull out of his coaching hat? And he has been able to make things work for the Lancers so far tonight.
I remember a big point after touchdown attempt missed by the Indians, so it could possibly even come down to tacking on that extra point after the touchdown if the Lancers can get down in that area.
They are in Indian territory at the 49-yard line. It is 2nd down and 2 with 1:16 to go. Pierce, short drop, looking downfield, looking for Keller, and Camp was there defensively. Fell incomplete. And it will be 3rd down and 2.
I think that's a good call by Coach Piercy. When you're in a situation where you're 2nd and short, go ahead and take a strike at the end zone, see if you can get the big play. But now you're 3rd and you're still in a short situation. You got 2 downs to get the first down. I like the play calling by Coach Percy.
3rd down and 2, 1:10 to go. Split receivers, one right, one left. Pierce back to pass, under pressure. Pierce has to go out of bounds. He loses yardage. And it'll be 4th down, another 4th down play. That one hurt. It'll be 4th and 9 with 1:02 to go. Can they pull another rabbit out of their hat?
I tell you, you go from 3rd and 1 to a 4th and 9 situation. This is a totally different circumstance altogether now. I mean, you know, 3rd and 1, you can run maybe a short dive, even a quarterback sneak. And here's Pierce, he's under pressure, and you wonder if maybe he has an opportunity where somehow he can get rid of this ball to keep from taking that big loss. We'll see if the Lancers can pull it out.
4th and 9. Here's Pierce, under pressure, and he is sacked. The Indians sack Pierce. And that should do it for Shawnee Mission North. The ball goes back to the Indians with 56 seconds remaining. They have a 6-point lead, and here you see it on the replay. And Pierce had absolutely no chance. Pierce, his head down a little bit there, Kevin, but he should hold his head up. He has played very well tonight.
Oh, it's been a heck of a game for Pierce and his entire Lancer squad. I think 2 snaps for the Indians, and this game could be over with. We'll see how many timeouts the Lancers do have left.
30 seconds to go. Clock is running. Ball up the middle. And close to a first down are the Indians. And a timeout is called with 19 seconds left. That's their second timeout. For the Lancers, they have 1 remaining. We've been handing out a lot of credit tonight, Kevin. The Lancers came out and just bolted, or at least ground out that 9-minute drive to begin the third quarter. And the Indians came right back. Yeah. But the Indians came right back and scored their own touchdown. And the Indians have really shown a lot of heart tonight as well.
What else can you say about that? Yes, they have shown a lot of heart. And what seems like the one key area right now is the big turnover, where the Indians were able to force the fumble. They recovered it, took the ball back down the field and scored. Their defense has held off the Lancers from scoring once again, and that right now is looking like it has been the pivotal play for this game.
19 seconds remaining. The Lancers can only stop the clock one more time. Hester down to one knee, and we have a timeout by the Lancers.
One more play.
3rd down and 3 with 15 seconds remaining. The Indians have to feel like they dodged a bullet tonight. Impressive running once again by Joe Camp. Camp with 106 yards and a touchdown on 14 carries. 90 yards, a couple of TDs on 16 carries for Brown. So their running game very impressive tonight once again. Gagnon and Coons have carried the load for Shawnee Mission East. And on the lead-in, we were talking about the battle in the trenches between the big men, and that certainly turned out to be the case tonight. 45 yards for McInnes receiving. And it'll be 4th down, 9 seconds remaining. And the clock will run out. 3, 2, 1, and that's it. The Shawnee Mission North Indians win their 2nd game of the season. It was a thriller and it was a tough battle for Bob Stouffer, but they defeat the Lancers of Shawnee Mission East by a score of 20-14.
Well, I like the analogy. It's like a good heavyweight fight. You got one guy with the advantage for a while. It seems like he has the upper hand, and he's taking advantage of the other team, but then the other team responds right back. And just a great contest tonight. Neither team with anything to be ashamed of. Just a well-played game, and the Indians fortunate enough to come out on top tonight.
Well, like you said, they had to feel a lot of pressure, Kevin, with all of the alumnus from the teams in the 60s and the 70s in the stands, and they responded to that pressure, and they came back in the second half. They were down 14-7 after a 9-minute drive to start the third quarter by Shawnee Mission East, and Coons with the touchdown run with 3:01 remaining to give the Lancers a 14-7 lead. But then Brown came back a few minutes later in the quarter to tie it with a touchdown run of his own. And then on a fumble by Shawnee Mission East, and the Indians were able to drive, and that led to a touchdown run by Joe Camp. In the first half, we had an interception by Shawnee Mission East, and that led to an Eric Coons touchdown. And then Mark Brown, also another touchdown run in the first half. The final tonight, 20-14, Shawnee Mission North with the win. And Shawnee Mission East drops to 0-2. For Kevin Sanders, I'm Lorrell LaBoube. Thanks for your time this time. Until next time, so long.